The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Damn!
All right, everybody. Welcome. Four people on the show tonight, including myself. Jables, welcome.
Hey, what's going on?
Because Lights, Cable, welcome. I said Jables, and you said, hey. I think you said I said Cable.
Yeah.
Jables, Cable, and Krellbar, welcome, guys. What's happening?
Jables and
Now,
Cable.
John, now that we have some light, how about now the guitar should be in your hand.
Oh, that's true.
We were in the pitch black before. We want to see.
But do we have an audience yet? See, I think
we'll wait a few minutes. That's a good idea. It's
Grand.
22 people in. 22. Hey, John, what's going on? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's see, what were we talking about?
Cable. Any
Ricky,
updates
what's
on
that?
your NAMM situation?
Yeah, I'm in. I've got a plane ticket. I've got my pass registered, and we're gonna be staying at probably at a hotel in Santa Monica. So yeah, I'll be seeing you at the end of the month. And
Oh, is that this month? They're doing it actually back in January again, huh?
yep,
Yeah.
25th through the 28th.
Nice. And oh yeah, you'll be in the Bad Cat booth. Now, where's Bad Cat's booth going to be this year, John?
It's going to be at the Anaheim Convention Center.
Good one. Any particular hall, or should people just find you in the restroom?
They can usually find me in stall number 4.
George Michael suite.
I don't know. I know it's booth number 57. No, 5447. I don't know what hall that is. The show's way smaller now than it was the last time you attended.
Right. I would imagine.
Significantly smaller. If
So,
you remember,
I
there
think
used to
that's
be
like Hall B.
A through Hall E, and E was the one that was in the basement.
Right.
And then they had a couple that were upstairs.
Yep.
Like now it's like 3 halls, and that's it. I think like it's gonna like be like B, C, and D, and that's about it.
Right. Wow.
That's how it was last year. I'm assuming it's gonna be about the same. I've already talked to a bunch of other vendors. Like Roland is not gonna be there, and Fender's not gonna be there. Yeah.
Oh man.
ESP's not gonna be there, and I know this because I asked one of my dealers. I said, yes, I have ESP. No, I asked one of my dealers today. I said, hey, are you going to be at NAMM? And he goes, no, ESP's flying me to Japan for a factory tour that weekend. I said, so they're not going to be at the show? And he goes, no, they're taking all their key dealers over to Japan. I was like, okay.
What the hell's going on, man?
This is how it is nowadays.
Well, they might as well just, bury the show then, because if all the big, dealers are going to bail, then
I would say enjoy it this time around because it's probably going to be it.
Think so?
I think. Well, I mean, it might still be there in like some shitty sort of way, but it's not going to be what it used to be.
Right. It'll be a small.
They're clinging to
Probably
life.
going to be what it was intended to be. Just the
Well, I
merchandise
always
and
liked
other-
Lonnie's little show, the guitar and amp show that Lonnie puts on.
The Airtel Hotel.
I love that. I love that show.
Good old Lonnie.
Why isn't Fender going to be there?
They sometimes skip out. So does Gibson. Is Gibson going to be there this year?
I don't think so.
Yeah, the thing is because these companies use NAM. The idea for NAM initially is for companies to write business, and Fender and Gibson realize they write just as much business from, flying out a rep around, and it used to be that there used to be excitement for the show, but I think there's just not that much excitement for the show. I mean, what's Gibson going to roll out the Dusk Tiger?
You love it.
Well,
What the fuck is the Dust Tiger?
That was like the worst thing they ever rolled out in like 2009 or 10.
Oh, but it's great.
It has the
I thought it was the Sonex or whatever.
what was that? What was that? The whatever that Klingon battle tool that that Worf had. It has one of those for a pick guard.
Oh, exactly.
The one that Chumley had on Pawn Stars and wrecked something in the back room. You see
Oh, I
that?
didn't see it. I have no idea.
He's dancing
Yeah.
around with a.
Yeah, no, there's always great performances, not only at NAM, but around the clubs.
Yeah, that's one thing I was. I contacted a buddy of mine. I was like, man, I could do it too, but I mean, I was like, look around and see if there's any good like shows coming up at the like the Whiskey or anything.
Whiskey, you'll see stuff. Places on Sunset, you'll see. And then there's that place in Huntington Beach. I forget what it's called, right up the street there. That people used to play.
The
Do you know-
Huntington Beach
Do you know
bar.
any good shows coming during that weekend?
The only one that I'm aware of is that at the NAM show, I think in one of the main hotels, and nobody's supposed to know this yet, so everybody spread the word. King's X will be doing a free show.
Ooh.
at the
We
NAM.
saw King's X at NAM one time, you and me.
We did?
Yeah, we went into a private room and they were performing.
I don't remember.
The lap
Yeah.
dance.
I only went in there because you were a huge fan. I don't really care
I
for.
can't
In fact,
believe I don't even remember it. I honestly, sincerely don't remember it. All I can think is that I've seen
oh yeah,
them
it was a
once.
private room.
Oh, weird. Yeah, what do I know?
I heard Dog.
Maybe that
Man
was the night
today.
that you roofied me that night.
That's it exactly.
I remember.
I heard Dogman today again. All I can think of is I don't know if it's the production. It's like so no EKG, and the riff in the song is awesome.
Yeah,
It just
the riff
doesn't
is
do
good.
anything.
that was the last album for me from King's X. I had everything before that, and I never
Yeah.
really got anything after that.
I'm allowed to have some bad taste every once in a while. That's fine. Oh, speaking of, I heard that George had a stroke.
Did he?
That's what I heard. I don't know
George
if
who?
it's George Adjef. Dave knows who he is. He was one of the senior vice president or something at West LA Music when we were there.
Yep. He was the vice president, yeah. Oh, you know who I heard from recently? You know who he also had a stroke was Bob Gazelman. But he's fine.
And
Yeah.
your friend Collins had like 6 of them.
Yep. 5 or 6.
No, I don't know how many he's had.
I think at least 4.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like
Jesus.
minor ones.
I thought
Yeah,
I,
but this
I knew he had a couple.
Ischemic.
I wasn't aware of that many.
yeah,
That
this is
that
going
dude's high strung.
Yeah, this was going back a while. I think it might have been 10 years ago. Or a little less.
Wow.
But yeah, he's doing good now. Healthy.
I haven't stroked
But yeah,
in a while.
so Gazelman and who else were we talking about the other day? Hey, future rock star. Good old Rick Waite.
Oh yeah.
Krellbar sent me a West LA music ad, and Rick Waite had the handlebar mustache.
Okay.
Isn't he at Sam Ash now on Sunset?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No.
Well,
Yeah,
But he
that was an old
He-
picture.
He was though, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
when he left West LA in like 2012, I think he worked there for like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, okay.
And there are some people that are still over there too.
Like, God, what was his name? Daryl?
Darrell.
Darrell. I haven't seen him.
He used to get so mad when I called him Darrell. He was a great guy, though.
I wonder why.
Oh, he was a great guy, though. He would get so pissed. He'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'm like, "What? That your name, Darrell? It's Darrell."
Okay, Darnell.
Terrible.
Lighten
Yeah,
up,
he's a
man.
great guy, though. I love Darrell.
You mean
What were you
Darrell.
saying now about what'd you just say, Matt?
Oh, I was talking about Rick being at Sam Ash.
Oh yeah. There was and a bunch of those guys went all over the place.
I appreciate Rick's work ethic, or what's a better word for this that I'm looking for? Maybe his
Tenacity.
Yeah.
desire to do it right, kind of. But I heard a story that Rick was literally like out in front of the Sam Ash on Sunset with like a clown suit on, like
Are you
waving
serious?
signs to like bring people inside.
Oh
Like,
really?
Because when business was down, that was like his tactic to try and bring people in.
That screams desperation.
Are you sure that's
Yeah.
a true story?
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine why that story would be made up, but it's yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't. That's why he doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah. And what about Gary Harrison? Is he still around? I
He
haven't
is.
talked to Gary in a few months.
I saw Gary at International House of Music in Tustin not that long ago.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah. Gary looks the same. He still dresses like $1 million.
Love him.
And yeah, he looks the same.
Love him.
He like
Gary, one time we were
perpetually
putting an order
55.
together. What's that?
he's perpetually 55, no matter how old
Yeah.
he really is.
We were putting an order together, and I forget who called me up and was like, "Matt, I think you went with us. Didn't we all go to the Stones at Dodger Stadium?"
I was there. I went with some people from the bar.
Oh, we weren't sitting on that ledge. I thought there was like 10 of us. I went with Colin. I met Colin there. Colin got me tickets. He was there with somebody, and I brought Gary from Dean Guitars.
Okay, no, I went with several people from.
Oh, okay, I remember you being there. But the
Yeah.
funny thing was, so I said to Gary, Gary, you want to go to the Stones? He's like, oh my God, I've never seen the Stones. This is going to be awesome. So we're there at the show, and he looks at me and goes, this is better than when I saw him at Altamont. I'm like, what happened to you never seeing them? He goes, I just remembered.
Hopefully, it wasn't in the front row.
I can't remember who opened for them.
I didn't even remember anybody opening for him. I took Gary to a Dodgers game, and I used to teach guitar to the daughter of one of the Dodgers scouts. And so I would get like these outrageous seats, like literally like I'm 2 rows behind Lasorda. It was three seats up from the front, right on the sideline. And it was incredible. And Gary brings an AM radio, and he's blasting the fucking game out his radio.
Love it.
And I'm looking around, and people are looking at me. And I'm like, oh, this
Don't
is
look at me.
awkward. This is fucking awkward. So I said, Gary, you might want to lower it. I think you're starting to piss people off. He goes, what are you talking about? Everybody loves hearing the radio during the game. I'm like, I don't know that. You get Tommy. I mean, this is like where all the fucking big people are hanging out here. Like we're like, he's like, all right, is it too loud? I'll lower it. He starts to lower it. This woman turns around and goes, turn that back up.
I thought I'd heard
Oh,
this
that's
story.
funny as hell.
Just turned down
I was
the
like,
commercials.
Gary was like, you see? And I'm like, what the fuck do I know?
That's a great story. That's really funny.
Fucking
Yeah, he's a good
gold.
guy.
Great
He's
guy.
not doing any. I think his big lines now are
I know,
he would
John.
be-
That's what he said.
he's the rep for Godin and the sub brands of Godin.
Oh, really?
So he has
Leopard
that.
Tree,
Yeah, all
Norman,
that stuff.
Seagull. There's
yes.
one more. I can't think
Anything,
of what
anything
it is.
you'd like to keep cool.
So John, who's going to be there that's good? We've already eliminated Fender, Gibson. Fucking
It's going to
Yeah.
be. It's going to be like a boutique show.
uh-huh.
All the cool boutique brands will be there.
Is Ibanez still going to be there?
I couldn't tell you.
How about the cheap brands from Amazon? Here,
I doubt it.
That was
Glary,
in the basement with the
here,
Chinese.
Glary, Fesley,
I hear
Rio
Chipson's
James.
going to be there.
downstairs
Yeah.
with the virus of the year.
Oh, wouldn't that be great if Chipson was there?
Hilarious.
And by Chipson, I mean their booth says Gibson, except it's like there's only Chinese people working there. I am President Gibson Guitar.
Mhm.
Are we still on the air? I can't believe it.
That's funny.
So I got to tell you an interesting story because I actually found out through a friend who has several of these Gibsons. He's actually had them built, and I saw where they were like they had these Les Paul customs, and there was like black ones and white ones, and they were like selling 50% off, for a short time. And I was like, screw it, I'll get one. It's like $150 and like $30 to ship it, so it's $180.
All right.
So I buy it, and it shows up, and there's a crack about probably about the 8th fret on the back of the neck, and the action's like this high on it. So I send them a picture, and I said, hey, this just showed up, and this is what happened, and it took a couple of weeks, but they sent me another one and didn't ask for the first one back. So I wound up getting 2 of them because I just fixed the one with the crack in the neck, and it's great. And now I've got 2 Les Paul customs, and they're actually pretty well made.
How's the second one? Second one.
The
was
second,
locked out?
the first one had like a big fat 50s neck on it, and and it's heavier. And then the headstock had the diamond placed in the right place, and everything was correct. It was more like a real custom. The second one I got had a thinner, like 60 style neck, and the diamond was a little bit too low, on it and stuff. But overall, they're both pretty damn good guitars. I got 2 of them for $150. So
Right.
you can't beat that.
Where's
Now,
it from?
You're gonna
Somewhere in
love.
China.
You're gonna love this. The company that actually makes them is called Bad Cat Instruments.
Oh yeah, I've seen that guy on Amazon.
Yeah, there's this guy Jason Gia or something like that, and he's kind of like the face of it or something, or he like does all the talking for him. But
I love it.
but
And they make me an amplifier.
yeah.
So,
But I gotta say, I've got one I can just experiment on now. I can just take it and do whatever I want to it, refinish it, or screw around with it. But the first one I got that I had to repair, it's actually I've been playing it, and it's actually I'm going to put good pickups in it and stuff. But it's it actually plays pretty well, and it was actually the frets were really not bad when I got it. I mean, I had to do minimal work to
That's
the
the
frets.
tough part. Yeah, it's like a lot of times they're uneven. So, but you get Gibson a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
They
But
say
they,
it's effect,
But yeah, I've seen some of the other stuff they've made, and it's actually looks pretty good. So
I want an opinion on this. When Gibson was using the Plek machine, I don't know if they still do anymore. Was their claim that they plecked every single instrument above a certain price point?
I don't remember.
Yes.
Because do you think that's BS, or did they do quality control like 1 every 10 or something like that? Because
I think they came with a thing that said plecked in the case. But
yeah, well, I can sell you a box with a guarantee on it.
Right.
All you have is a guaranteed piece of shit.
what's your point? The point is, how do you know he's not a glue sniffing fairy saying, "Build model airplanes"?
Build a
Oh,
model
last-
airplane. That's
Last
fine.
week at work, I wore my Callahan Auto Parts shirt. The only one
Oh.
person recognized it.
Well,
Yeah, that
so
reference is
what
getting
was your
old now.
question about the plecking? Why did you want to know?
Oh, I just remembered when all that was going down. There was some videos, a number of influences and stuff. They could, oh yeah, it was plecked. It was plecked. It was plecked. Then they go into the Gibson factory and it shows, yeah, this is what we do for all these guitars. And it's such an involved process, and they sell so many of them. I just didn't think that they were actually.
Well, yes, I won't
Plecking that
divulge
many.
the company, but a company once told me that they pleck every instrument. And I said, okay, that's great. And then they gave me a tour of their factory. And then I asked them, how many guitars do they finish and ship a week? And they told me. And I sat there and went like this. Bullshit. One of the things you've told, I felt like I was Charlie Chan. Number one son put Murder Weapon on shelf, and then I picked up same. No, I said to the guy, one of the things you tell me cannot be true. Because either you're not plecking everything, or your numbers of that you're delivering out the door are way lower. Because if your guy's super fast at plecking, and I mean super fast at it, you could bang out 3 plecks an hour. Realistically, you're probably doing 5 every 2 hours. So now do that times 5 days, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You can do the math and figure out the maximum amount that you can ship.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking they probably do it in lots and say they do it all. That's
No,
what
I mean, there's no. I think Gibson had more than one pleck machine. That's first. That's number one. So that could be done. And 2, it really does. It is worth the price of it to say that it's plecked to pleck it, because you just don't have any high frets. And I don't remember anybody ever getting a guitar from Gibson since they started the plecking and said like that they had a high fret issue or any of those types of issues that used to happen.
So you
around
think
the
40
14th fret.
40 years from now, you think they're going to have something where it's like, oh, we've got the guy that was plecking guitars 40 years ago, Jose Jalapeno, whatever his name is. He brings the mojo to the pleck machine.
And then when he's done, his apprentice, Jorge Gonzalez, is going to be waiting for the bus. John, you missed that last week. We were talking about what was her name?
Ibarra. The apprentice.
The second one.
Oh, isn't it Eileen or something? Yabara?
No, it begins with a J. John would know. John, what was
What are you talking about right now?
Abigail Ybarra's apprentice, the second one. Josephina Campos?
Yeah,
okay, that's
Campos.
it. That's it.
Yeah,
Compost?
that's right.
We were
That's
like, she was really shocked to find out how much they were selling her pickups for. She happened to read it in a guitar magazine while she was waiting for the bus.
Yeah, it's a great bit because it's absolutely spot on.
100%.
Yes. As Ybarra's career was.
Seymour Duncan was
Someone's
doing the
asking
same
about
thing,
Joe.
right?
I don't know. I assume he's fine. Like, he comments and sends me videos through Instagram. But I know he was fighting a cold last week and he's probably working all this week. So I don't know.
This
Honestly,
is like
I
his
don't know.
like 3rd or 4th week he's missed, isn't it?
Yeah, but he talked to me before the first one he missed and told me he was sick and then he didn't know. So who knows?
Who's this?
Joe.
Oh, gotcha.
One of the last 4 years, Gibson's most inconsistent G&L Plex as well. Yes, they do. G&L Plex, yes.
I still have a beef with GNL though.
Why?
GNL can't make a guitar that weighs less than a fucking solid
No.
gold bars.
No.
It's
and I'll tell you
unbelievable.
something else about G&L. They'll tell you they ship out a lot more guitars than humanly possible.
Right. That's funny.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you very much. I talked to the Plek guy. The guy was like, I could do about 3 an hour. If I'm rushing, averaging, I do about 2. So I'm like, all right, you do about 5 every 2 hours. So 2 hours, you get times 4. You got
It seems
20 guitars a day.
incredibly slow. I mean, you could have a couple of guys doing fret dressings quicker than that.
Oh, yeah. You have to see that. First of all, the process is you loosen the strings and spread them to the side, and then you put it on this stand, and this laser thing comes down and reads the neck. You make a couple of adjustments, and then this blade comes over and does all the fret dressing for every fret, the proper height, everything. And then they take it out, restring it back up. But it's a process. It's not quick. And the cutter's like a diamond cutter, and it's like, so you're waiting. I mean, it's not like you can speed up the 20 minutes to do it. If you're doing it as fast as you can, that's 20 minutes. If you're even dragging a little bit, you're going towards 30 minutes. But the machine has a set amount of time. I think the machine runs 15 minutes while it's set up. So you got like 2.5 minutes pulling it on, 2.5 taking it off, and 15 to run it. It's like, so it's not like you have a lot of choice. You know what I mean? It's like,
At best, 24 guitars a day.
yeah. And, I know, I get like, I like Warmoth's frets, and I have guys that do fret stuff, like even on the stainless stuff. I've never really had problems with frets.
I have I have a bummer of a problem with a fret right now. One of my Warmoths with the white. No, the white one's not on the wall. Anyway, the white one.
Stainless.
Yeah, it's got stainless frets, and it fell over the other day, and it fell over hard enough to where the string still put an impression on the 14th fret. So I need to replace the 14th fret on that guitar. It bums me out.
Oh, that's brutal.
I'll go take it to Fren and have him do it, but like, still bums me out because it's like,
oh yeah,
Well, there must be a deep one, huh?
it's no, it's not that bad, but I'm anal. I've been playing for
I get it.
30 years. I feel it under my finger on a vibrato, and I'm like, that ain't right. I don't like it.
No, especially on the 14.
No, what I mean is it so deep where you can't like sand the fret down a little?
No, then you have a
If
low
I
fret.
sand that fret down, I got to sand everything down.
Not necessarily. If it's just that one fret, it depends.
Oh yeah, we might as well just not have a level fretboard.
Yeah, sure. Well, for example, something I have to do on that E-art I got, all the frets will level except for some reason at 13th fret on the bass side, it's high there, and I'm getting a buzzing on the E string at the 12th fret, but everything else is fine. So I'm going to have to go in there with some sandpaper and then polish it up and then crown it.
No, that's
like
different because you can take away, but you can't add to.
Yeah.
But none of it matters anyways. I'm never gonna play another guitar again other than this Gretsch.
Oh, let's see it.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Bingham has been playing. He's been on a Gretsch kick, folks.
It's the Gretsch Anniversary model. And I don't know if you've seen this one, but it's the silver one.
Oh yeah, didn't Bono have a green one of those? The Irish.
Silver and blue.
It was like the same model, wasn't it?
Yeah, that green 2-tint green one.
The Irish. What was it called? The Irish.
The Irish Shillelagh. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Irish setter.
Let's see this thing. Let's see what do you got for pickups in it?
It's got the Filtertrons.
Oh, okay, nice.
And it's got the
Bigsby.
Here we got the the two pickup volumes, the master tone, the master volume, and a 3-way switch.
Nice.
And what do they call the little side dots? The fingernail markers or whatever they call it. No 0 fret.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's just killer. I can play this. This is the only thing I know how to play. It sounds right on a Gretsch. Just play
the Irish Falcon.
The Irish Falcon. Thank you very much.
But yeah.
What is the model you're playing there? Is that a
Love it. This is Anniversary. They call it a Gretsch Anniversary. That's the model.
But it's like a Falcon though, too, isn't it?
No, G6118T Anniversary. This is, that's just what they call the model. It's the Anniversary model.
Let's hear that, Bigsby. Can you hold it up so I can see how that bridge is on the guitar? Okay, so it's a full hollow body.
It's a hollow body. The bridge is pinned.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the way they do the pinning is not like if you take the strings off, the bridge comes right off.
Absolutely, but it just
Yeah,
has
the
little
pin-
indentations so it can so it doesn't move from the
That's
intonated spot.
That's right. So that's it. But yeah, the thing's killer. It sounds amazing.
That's
just-
not
I
is that an
absolutely
electro?
love
That's not an
the product.
electromatic, is it?
No.
No.
I didn't mean to sound angry about the fact that you assumed I bought a.
I know I wasn't. Ricky Compton said the electromatic, and that's why I said I don't think it was.
No. The only reason I bought it is because, like I said, I saw it on Facebook Marketplace for $1,200.
And that's
And
made
I
in
was like-
Japan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the real ones. And I was like,
Yeah.
why is that so cheap? So of course I hit the guy up. Turns out it's a guy that I know that was
Oh, you're
selling it.
kidding.
Yeah, so that was even better. So I could trust the whole situation. I went over there, spent some time with the guy, came a little handy,
And then
knock off
in exchange
off
for an
$100.
angry handed
Right. And no, I ended up taking it for $1,200, and like it's just like fuck.
That's great.
Can't say no to that.
Yeah. And you
so-
love the Gretsch.
I do. But that shouldn't overshadow the other guitar that I picked up this past week.
You're
Uh-oh.
kidding.
I did a guitar trade. I did a trade.
right.
And people are gonna
Okay.
say I'm crazy. I traded the Shabbat guitar away. And
Shabbat. You said Shabbat Shalom.
I've
Shazbot?
come to the realization that I really don't like hum single guitars.
Really? Okay.
Anytime
I.
I was playing, well, with that guitar, with the Shabbat, it was on the Lawler in the bridge position 100% of the time. Because if I
Right.
was playing that guitar, and I went to the neck pickup, like, why is the neck pickup so fucking bright? Always,
Yeah.
and that was always my big complaint. And it's because there's a pair of single coils attached to a 500K pot.
Right.
Because the 500K pot's there to accommodate the humbucker.
Uh-huh.
So so it was like, okay, the humbucker sounds good, the single coil sounds shrill, end of story. That was it.
But you
That
know
was
what's a
my-
good one, just on a side note for anyone else who is, there's a heavy blues that DiMarzio makes. They used to have three of them. It used to be DP 402, 403, and 409. I think they only make the 409 still, but that's a dark sounding single coil that matches well with humbuckers.
Yeah.
That takes a 500K pot. Okay, go on.
All right. So anyway, I got a little weird with it, and we got a Duesenberg.
Duesenberg.
So getting real weird with it. Another semi-hollow guitar. Well, this one's semi-hollow, but it's like the Malcolm Young shape.
Yeah.
But it's like the Malcolm Young shape without directly copying and buying a Malcolm.
Oh, that's a good looking guitar. But now, is that a Bigsby on that, or is that the Duesenbergs?
This is the Duesenberg tremolo.
The
Whatever-
Vibratrem,
Well, I don't know, whatever they call it, but this is
Less
fantastic.
Trem, whatever they call it. What is it?
It's unbelievable.
I believe it.
The tremolo feels like absolute butter, and I've had this one for close to probably 3 weeks, and it doesn't go out of tune at all.
Really?
Hold on, let me fix it. No, I'm just kidding.
I-
No, it's like you can
That's a beautiful guitar.
wank away on this bar, and it stays perfectly in tune. It's interesting because it comes with like a humbucker and a P90 shaped humbucker.
Oh, yeah.
Humbucker shaped P90. Sorry,
What do those usually go for?
like $3,400 or something.
No shit.
And,
Yeah,
and that's like a
Duesenberg-
Gibson pickup, isn't it?
They make them.
I thought that was Gibson's thing, putting the P90 in the hum size. Oh, or was it Duncan?
Yeah, I think they
Fat
do
Cat,
make.
maybe.
Yeah, no, you're right. P100s are like that.
Well,
Gibson
P100's a
200s.
noise canceling.
But they're also humbucker size, aren't they? Or am I crazy?
No, you're crazy. They make both P90 and P100 in the humbucker thing, but it's called like P90 humbucker, like in the shape in that.
Did you trade straight up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Shabbat's like a handmade Strat, so that was pretty
Yeah,
good deal.
I didn't feel so bad about the value on value trade there. They're very similar. But
and how do you like the Duesenberg? Are you plugging a lot of Akadaka these days? Is that what's going on?
Well, I haven't gotten to play either of these in the band setting yet, so we'll see. But
Was that noise here or in my headphones?
what?
That's
What
not
noise?
here.
Big. Oh man, it sounded like a gunshot
What?
Was it here?
outside.
No. The dangers
To be in
of
my head. I wasn't sure if it was in my headphones or somebody else's thing picked it up, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Canton, Mass, getting a little messy these days.
Oh, it's a rough crowd.
Mm. No, so I don't know. You know how I am. I get on kicks. I got that Duesenberg. I decided, I really like the sound of hollow body. This is amazing. So then all of a sudden I'm like scouring Craigslist for more hollow bodies, and that's when that one came up, and I'm like, I'll wear out on this whole fad in 3-4 months. Next thing you know, you'll see all my shit up for sale.
Exactly.
Telling you guys the same story about, Nashville Tellys or something stupid.
All right.
Oh, guys, I got these 3 Nashville Tellys.
Can't
I
go
love a
wrong with
Nashville
that.
telly.
It's a little unstable.
The Nashville telly.
You know what I really want? And I'll fully admit this too. I would trade both of these together for a Gretsch Silver Falcon. That's the dream. The Silver Falcon's the one that I really want.
How long have you had this dream, John?
Silver Falcon over a year now.
Oh,
Bingham, is
Yeah,
your lineage
that's
Scottish or Irish?
Scottish,
so is
It
mine.
is Scottish, right?
English, and Scotch,
Okay.
and a little
You
German.
got to
on
have
my
Gretsch
mom's
make the
side.
Scotch Falcon.
Scotch
Tell them what you want. Call Gretsch. Gretsch, what are we doing here? Get Bingham a guitar.
Did you
Have
say
like
the
a
Scotch,
plaid
the Scotch
garden.
rocket? What did you just say? The Scotch rocket?
It can't be plaid because then you're going to look like you're playing for the Bay City Rollers.
The
Oh.
groundskeeper Willie signature.
I'm more of a Mitch Ryder fan myself.
Devil with the blue dress.
But if anybody wants to trade me these 2 guitars for a mint condition Silver Falcon, let's go.
Damn, I've got one, but it's not mint condition, dude.
Yeah, it's not
You
a
deserve
Falcon.
to give you. I think I'm doing the Paul
It's a
Stanley.
Squire strap.
You deserve to give yourself a round of applause. Let's go.
What was I was watching something the other day that made me so embarrassed for Paul Stanley.
Any interview?
I can't remember what it was. No, it was like
Where he said
No,
he
it
would
was.
never wear makeup again. We're past that. That's the
it
past.
was a live show. It was like somebody's VHS recording of like an old live show. And it's just so gay.
Yeah.
Well, one
Unbelievable.
good thing Paul Stanley did, if you ever forgot what city you were in, he would always remind you every other second. Providence!
Let's go. Yeah, I mean, Paul Stanley. I watched an interview today with Pat Morita. Now, Pat Morita was talking. They asked Pat
That's a
Morita
nonsense.
You got too much time
Oh,
on your hands, Dave.
about working with Red Fox. And you got to look up this interview with Pat Morita on Red Fox. And basically, he's telling the story, and he goes, and then Red said to me, "Hey, Pat, come over." And he goes right into a deadpan, fucking perfect Red Fox impersonation.
Oh,
And
nice.
you don't expect it from Pat Morita.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, and I walked up and he says, "Let me talk to you for a minute." And Pat Morita's fucking, his Red Fox is spot on. It's like, this is gold.
That's funny.
Gotta look that up.
What brought that up?
Well, I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Guess
So-
Oh no, because we were talking about somebody.
Ricky
You know that
Compton brings
guy
up a
wore a
good
shirt.
question. He says, Bingham, are those Duesenbergs made in Germany or are they Japan? So Duesenberg has a questionable history.
Korea,
They
I think.
actually do some of the manufacturing in Korea, some of it in Croatia, and some of it in Germany. So what I've heard from other people who do manufacturing around the world is that for a handful of years they were using a factory in Korea called Mir,
Uh-huh.
M-I-R-R.
Yeah.
They're the same factory that Reverend uses. They only do a couple of small brands, but what they were doing was they were building the laminates for the bodies and putting them together and gluing them up and getting them together. They were milling the necks and then shipping them to Germany, and they would do the rest of the work in Germany. But recently, what I heard is that now, instead of sending them to Korea, they're doing them all in Croatia. But they're doing the same thing, where
Right. And that's been done since the dawn of time. I mean, if you look at the original Kramers, the ESP was making all the Beretta stuff in Japan.
Mm.
And people say, oh, they were out of New York. No, they had an office in New York, but that was all. They were Japanese made, and they had Canadian made necks. All the Lacido stuff from Lacido then changed its name to Godan.
Mm.
But Godan made all the the Pacer necks and the some of the other ones. And there was another company called Sport, and they were out of Connecticut, I think. But I think they were USA made. But people make, I mean, they put it together. I mean, if they're good guitars, they're good guitars, you know?
Now, the Japanese guitars from the 80s to early 90s, the Ibanez, which I've got a couple, those didn't hold their value too well. It's like I bought my Ibanez Sabre in 91. It's Japan. It's from the, well, what's the name of the factory? It begins with F.
Fujigen.
Fujigen.
Yep.
From Fujigen factory and stuff. When I bought it with the case, it was probably like $800-900 in 1991. And I mean, you could probably get it for like $400 or $500 now.
No. Now they're back up. Now they're back up to the value you paid for them. 10 years ago, I could go and buy all kinds of MIJ Ibanez for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, mine's an S540.
Yeah, S540. You know, last time I looked, which admittedly would have been maybe a year ago.
Holy shit! You're not shitting. Well, this guy's selling it used for $1,850.
That doesn't mean
this is the one I've
it.
got. But yeah, he's not going to get it.
But no, the value on the early 90s Japanese stuff crept back up.
$849.
It was really bad for a while. Yeah. There was a point in time where I was buying RGs that were in decent shape for like $300, like doing a setup on it, taking better pictures, and then selling them for $500.
Yeah. In 2019, I bought a 88 Ibanez Radius, which was essentially the original Satriani model, and with the nice chunky neck. I bought that from Steve from Boston for like $300. I bought 2 guitars, and it worked out to like $300 for each guitar.
What Ibanez did I own? Me and you got them at the same time from Russ.
That was a great one.
What was it called?
Prestige. Shit, I don't remember the name.
Exactly.
2550Z.
Yeah.
RG.
That was the only Ibanez I ever owned. And John, can you guess how long I kept possession of that guitar?
6 months.
What's that?
6 months.
It might have been less. It could have been 3. Okay. I didn't play it. I didn't have it long.
Yeah.
What didn't you like about the thin neck, right? That really thin neck profile.
It's not my kind of guitar, but the deal that John and I got on it, we couldn't say no.
Yeah, they were really cheap.
We got a phone call. I mean, this was like I think it was like a third of what they sell for. We got a phone call from the rep saying, I can get you this guitar for this much money. Do you guys want one? And we were like, yes. I mean, I didn't even think about it. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
And
I did like that guitar. That was a good guitar. But like everything, I sold it.
Yeah, you got rid of it. Like every guitar you've had.
Every single one of them.
You know what's coming back up? Or do you guys remember Electra?
Yeah. Really? I mean, it's like a
70s
Japan
80s,
brand.
Japan. Les Pauls. They made Les Paul copies. I think they got shut down because they had 2 headstocks. They had like a wave headstock, and then they had I can't remember what the other one was, but they're actually really well made. And
RL is saying that Carmen Ibanez is the greatest Ibanez from Starship Troopers.
And he's probably right.
Is that Charlie Sheen's wife? What the hell's her name?
Oh, that's Denise.
No, that's Denise. Yeah.
Was Denise Richards Carmen Ibanez?
No, isn't Carmen Ibanez her real name? Oh, it is. RL says Denise Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denise Richards.
That was her name in the thing. He loves that movie.
But they called her Ibanez. Yeah, it wasn't Ibanez. It was
Yeah.
Ibanez.
I mean, I
Yeah, it
think
was
Ibanez
a
is
factory
very
that
man's name.
Hoshino acquired from Spain that made nylon string guitars. And the guy who was the Hoshino representative or something in Pennsylvania convinced them that they should use that name because the Japanese will have a bad name, won't sell as well as a Spanish name.
Ed Dana just brought up the MV because there's Les Pauls there were a lot of them that were set necks and they were called the MPCs, and they had effects modules that you could put in the back and you could interchange them. I don't know how many they made altogether, but they had like a phaser and a distortion and a flanger, all kinds of shit. But then they also made one called an Outlaw that was like a double cutaway kind of deal, and it was a set neck as well, or it might have been neck through. But
I'm looking at those right now. That's neat.
I think Duesenberg makes a guitar called the Outlaw that the guy from Red Rider played, Tom Cochran.
Mm-hmm.
I love that guitar.
Really? I don't know.
What do you got there in your hand now?
That's the Ibanez Radius.
That's
the original Satriani model before he put his signature on it.
Right.
And it's got
is that orange or red?
Red.
Looks red.
Okay.
And
it looks orange,
you know what?
I think here.
It's good having a spare one of these too. The Ibanez Edge. Great friggin' tremolo. But anyways, it's not as thin a neck as the Ibanez's were after. It's got a little chunk to it. It feels more like a Fender neck.
Even better.
Yeah, the Satriani neck profile is thicker than their traditional Wizard, whatever.
Oh, that's true too.
I do have a JS100, which was like the $800 model of the Satriani model. The pickup sucked in it. And
white,
the trim system was really crap. But I bought one with pickups in it already. There was Steve Special, and there was the Marzio something in the neck. I can't remember. But anyways, I bought it for like $150 because the tremolo was shot. I put a Goto in it, and it works great.
Yeah.
I think Goto manufactures the Ibanez hardware.
Exactly. Yeah, the Edge. What's Goto's? The T.
Yeah, T100. That's the one I have in it, but I can't remember what the model is.
Yeah, it's like T.
Like
it's the low
512
profile.
or something. I don't know.
I wish I could think of it. It's got the. It's called the low pro Floyd Rose style.
G1996T.
1998 T, I think.
Oh, 1996 T is the standard Floyd that they make. What's the 1998? Is that the low pro? Oh, I don't know.
I'll be able to tell you.
I was just looking it up. The 1996 is the one that like John Suhr uses on all of his Floyd guitars.
Oh, really? He's not using Floyd's?
No, he uses Gotos.
Yeah. I mean, Goto makes great stuff.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, it's probably in 1996 then. It's like around 7-8 years ago since I modified
the more fancy pants builders like Tom Anderson and all those guys, when they do a Floyd guitar, they usually use the Goto.
Yeah.
The Goto has
has
the good marketing material behind it though, because it's like you got that spring lock thing on the back of it. And,
yeah. Goto makes a quality product.
Yeah, you probably make the best the 2-screw tremolos too for Strats.
You know what? The guy from Goto, the sales rep, always says, if you want to buy a quality product, you can buy from me.
Okay, I'll buy from you. What?
What?
I went to a trade show once, and they had a guy from China talking about parts. And then the guy from Japan, oh, you are dumb. You Chinese people say. Oh, sorry, that was an episode of South Park in the auditorium.
Oh, really? I'm selectively introducing Ewan to South Park. I have to be careful because some of the episodes are so bananas.
Oh my God. Show's great.
So
Show's fantastic.
So funny. The episode we watched the episode the other night where everybody was ignoring Cartman, so he thought he was dead. He thought he was a ghost, and only Butters could see him. It was really
Gold. Gold, I tell you.
Oh my
Gold.
God.
Have you guys seen the Chat GPT episode?
No.
I haven't seen that yet. I know it's on Paramount. I haven't watched it yet.
You have got to watch that one. It is so hilarious.
Yeah. Shitty walk.
Um,
Yeah, so Bingham's going to get more Gretches. And so,
Bingham's going to get one more Gretch for sure.
yeah, you may as well make some. Well, they're not going to be at the NAM,
The Nambla.
The NAM.
the North American Man Boy Love Association. They won't be there because, it's Fender.
Right?
Yeah, Gretsch. So that means no Charvel, no Jackson.
Nope.
None of that stuff. Yep.
Jesus.
No Kramer. If
I can
Gibson's
see.
not there.
I can see Matt right now kicking himself about that airline reservation.
What
I'm
am I
hoping there's something there that's going to make it worthwhile.
I never liked Fender's booth. It was always like you go there because they used to meet with everybody on Wednesday. By the time you go Friday or Thursday, they got every sold sticker on everything. You can't, you know what I mean? It's like everything's just sold. All the one-off custom shop stuff. I never thought they did a great job at NAMM. Taylor will probably be there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor was there in like nothing more than a meeting room. This is the other thing.
I wouldn't.
You're
I
going to
wouldn't be
start. You're going to
surprised.
see that this year, where there's going to be, like Martin, for example, will be there with only a closed meeting room. They won't have a big booth.
Well, they have a Powers booth.
Christ. You know, I give those
Yes,
guys
I
credit.
know who that is.
Their marketing is brilliant.
Who, Martin?
No, Taylor.
Oh,
Like the whole Powers Electric thing, like the way they're building that marketing story and everything. I mean, they could tell the truth and just be like, yeah, it's the production manager from Taylor making electric guitars, but instead they just like manufacture these insane fucking Peterman catalog sort of descriptions of everything.
I didn't even know they were still making electric guitars.
No, they're doing something called Powers Electric, and it's Andy Powers. Isn't that what you just said? You said Powers.
I said Powers booth.
Powers
Yeah, you
Booth.
said something.
Yeah, the actor from
He's
Southern
an actor.
Comfort.
Oh, Jesus. I missed that. I thought you were talking about Powers Electric because it came right on the tail of you talking about Taylor.
No, I know.
No, we're not talking about music here.
So are you not familiar with Powers Electric?
No. What is it?
It's Andy Powers, the production manager from Taylor. He now has a line called Powers Electric. And like I said, it's like a J. Peterman catalog, the way they talk, you know. all the
Oh,
marketing.
but he doesn't work for Taylor, or he still does.
No, he still does. They make them on the Taylor grounds, I think.
Oh, I see.
Max Power.
Yeah, I mean,
what happened to you and the Cordoba company, John?
What happened to me
Oh.
being there?
Yeah.
I went to
He
Korg.
left.
I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be there forever.
Oh, okay. You went to who? Korg?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I was unceremoniously removed from Korg.
great one, Cold Roses.
Let's hear that juicy story.
There's not much to it. There's just the national sales manager that was working there got fired. 2 years in a row, we grew. And somehow or another on the inside, they decided, well, let's get rid of the national sales manager and make the guy who's the inside guy, the inside sales manager, can now manage the inside and the outside team. So they were making more money, and they fired a guy to make even more money. and the guy who took over the outside team came in with like one of those everybody's re-interviewing for their jobs sort of personalities, and literally told everybody that. But I shouldn't make it seem like it's general. He actually said everybody's re-interviewing for your own job.
I'd walk out.
Oh yeah, I told him. I told him it was
fraud.
completely fucked. And then like during the course of like the re-interviewing thing, I called him stubborn to his face, which isn't a big deal because it's true. And he was like, "I'm not stubborn." I was like, "You don't listen to anybody." And he was like, "That's not true." I'm like, "You're doing it now."
Haven't you learned anything from
I
the
lasted
Shawshank
like
Redemption?
60 days after him taking over.
You use the word obtuse.
Oh, he's the worst. That guy's the
That'll
fucking
get you
worst.
thrown in solitary.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was that. And then I was at Boutique Amps, which was great.
Yeah.
So,
What's going on? And is the guys that you
RL
worked
playing?
with, are they still there?
who?
I forget
What?
his name. The guy who worked with you at Cordoba, who was also at Boutique. Is he still over there at Boutique?
Somebody from Cordoba worked at Boutique?
I thought so.
No, I don't think that's right. I'm trying to think.
Who was the guy you
No.
worked with at Cordoba?
I worked with a whole bunch of people.
I forget his name.
I don't know. All I know is nobody from that team is there anymore.
Oh, really?
The Cordoba
Where,
people, no,
Cordoba?
that's all
Cordoba, you mean.
changed. Yeah, that's all changed. Paul Harris worked there for a while.
How are you?
Well after the fact that I was gone. But anyway, we should talk
Oh, yeah,
less
yeah. I know
about
Paul
fucking
worked there.
people. All these
Didn't he
people
call
in
you
the
and ask
chat.
you about it?
Yeah.
I remember
I gave him
that.
I gave him the same advice he gave me about Gibson.
What's that?
I
Don't
said,
do it.
fucking stay away.
What just
Stay
happened?
away. What's that?
What just happened? All you guys froze, and then
Oh.
I clicked my
That's
mouse.
on
and-
your.
yeah.
That's on your end.
Huh.
Yeah, good old Paul Harris. I like Paul Harris.
I love Paul. How are you?
Everybody in the chat's like, talk about TV or something. We don't know Paul Harris.
Right. Funny story when we went to go see, remember when it was we went to go see, it might have been what's the guy from the Stray Cats?
Brian Setzer.
Brian Setzer. And his wife was there and she was like, he has a beautiful tailor. Oh, I'm not supposed to say anything.
A beautiful tailor.
Yeah, Paul
Oh,
had it.
oh,
She
oh.
was talking about his acoustic guitar was a tailor.
Oh, gotcha.
And then
Oh,
she got
funny.
all embarrassed that she said it. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that Paul had a tailor?
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
The Gibson rep had a tailor. His favorite guitar was a tailor.
Oh, that is funny. How dare he?
How dare he is right.
If that was
Okay.
like there's some companies that are probably like that in this industry, but I think for the most part they're not. Like, it's absurd. It's so dumb if you think that you have to only like what you're
Right.
working for.
Right.
I'd leave
I
Bad
agree.
Cat. I'd leave Bad Cat right now if they were like, "Oh, you can't play anything but Bad Cat."
Right.
Well, I'd say
You'd
give
like
me,
that.
give me some bad cats for free.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid. Oh, I do
right.
like
Is
the
that
Jet
Uncle
Black.
Roger?
I was playing the Jet Black today with the Gretsch. Oh, baby, sounds good.
Playing the Akadaka.
Sounds really good. No, I was doing my best to fake cleaner, more country-ish sounds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah.
I haven't been playing for shit. If I'm not teaching or playing my gig, I'm not even playing. I never even look at the guitar. Playing a lot of online poker.
I did a complete. I did something drastic over Christmas. Complete transformation of my picking technique.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Do
that-
tell. Oh,
So-
well, yeah, you started learning how to cross pick.
That fell apart in 2 days.
Oh, really? It's the only way I know how to pick.
It's more minor. It's more minor. No. So traditionally, as a player, I was the kind of player, hold the pick with like kind of my fingers sort of out,
Uh-huh.
as you're picking. I've
Right.
recently transitioned to a closed fist.
Really?
Much
And it
better.
was nearly fucking impossible the first 2 days because you just feel like you have no control. But over the course of like 2 weeks, the things that are funny about it is like I'm way faster now. The pick attack has more like staccato to it, and on top of that, like the stop and start sort of stuff, like that whole like James Hetfield sort of like that sort of stuff,
Mhm.
so much better. Like 30 years later, I can finally do some of that stuff. Like I can sit down and play Battery from Metallica and play it.
Right.
Couldn't
That's
do it
the-
before with my
To
open
your
fingers.
neighbor's chagrin.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
that's how I play too, John. And I got to tell you, it's not, there's a certain amount of scientific backing to that, because if you look at your hand and you like just totally let it relax, it curls up like that.
Mm.
You have to exert, some kind of energy to force the fingers straight. If you totally relax them, they just curl up. So you're more relaxed when you're playing like that, as opposed to having your fingers out here, because then everything's tensed up and you just feel your forearm right here. And as soon as your fingers go out, you can feel your forearm expand. And,
Right.
and it's, so you're carrying tension already and slowing yourself down by putting your fingers out. The minute you
This
let
is
them
all
relax
crazy
in,
talk.
Yeah.
it's fact. Do it right
Well,
now, dude.
Watch.
Well, my
First
my
of all,
fingers
I
don't
play with
go
my hand
out,
open,
but
but
my
because
hand's
I'm
open too.
using this to control the height of my picking without, if I got to go like this, my picking, I'm barely touching the string because my hand is slightly lifting the pickup, and I need that against the guard, which is why I don't like playing archtop guitars.
Exactly. You're relying on that, but I mean, you don't
I'm not
have to.
relying on it. I just it's now it's like a blind man. Like
Now, John, when you played, did
Now, if
you
I
have
pick,
it
I
really
just- my hand
fanned
is
out,
always like
or
this.
was it like curled and hitting
it's not
the pick
open
bar?
like
Was it
this. I'm
fanned
not
out
extending
like
it, but I'm just relaxing my hand. But I am
I'll answer
always
you in a
knowing
second.
where my hand height is from the strings because I'm using that guide on my fingers. And I think if you watch anyone play, like the guys like Jimmy Page and stuff, they always have they're always tapping the fingers on the pick guard for where their height is on their hand.
See,
Yeah. Watch Paul
mine's,
Gilbert pick.
mine's not fanned out, but mine usually touches the top, but it still maintains a curl.
Right, well, mine does too. I told you, I'm not extending it. It's like this.
All right. I'm just saying, if you look
Yeah,
at
you
like
get guys
if
like
you look
George
at-
Lynch that.
yeah,
like
that
this.
yeah. Well, if you look at like Gilbert,
Didn't I tell you
or
not to bring
Guthrie
up George
Govan,
Lynch? Yeah, Guthrie's awesome.
but he holds his hand like this
Yeah.
too. But
Yeah.
it's if your anchor point is right here on the bridge, you don't need
Mm-hmm.
anything else because you're going to be palm muting anyway. So I always just anchor this right here to the low E, right at the bridge, and I can hit anything I want, and
Yeah.
it's no problem.
No, I
Well,
just always use the
I'm with Dave because I can adjust the
I always
pick
just keep my
height
hand like
a lot
that.
better when
Yeah, it's just
I never really gave it much thought.
I
I had to pick up the guitar to see what I did. I was trying to remember.
well, you should
what I
use your
did.
arm versus your wrist anyways, Parker, when you're picking quickly. Even whether your hand's open or closed, you should. But I think Ingve's open-handed too.
I disagree on.
Well, Ingve, when he plays, he rotates his forearm when it's like that.
Yeah, the difference is
But it's
subtle.
his forearm. It's not his
Yeah.
wrist.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't
The
break his
difference-
wrist.
The difference is subtle. If I'm playing here, I'll mic it so you can kind of hear the attack. But if
Put
I'm
your
playing
camera
like
down a little bit.
if I'm playing it with my fingers out and down on the pick guard, and I play fast, that sort of a thing, you can hear it sound a certain way. But if I close my fist and do the same thing, it's like more ticky-tacky. And that's all it is. I just like the pick attack sounds more like Paul Gilbert's pick attack.
Mhm.
I just like that's what I like about it. It's like
Yeah, it's more aggressive.
it's that's all it is. But
Yeah, I believe Paul Gilbert breaks his wrist though when he plays it. That's all a wrist movement, I think.
Yeah,
Just a
he's just
minute
the
wrist movement. Yeah. Same
Yeah,
thing with John McLaughlin.
Mhm.
oh, dude, that guy's fast as all hell. Insane. What was that tune, that John McLaughlin tune that I think I stumbled upon it when we were still rooming together like years ago. Is it Cherokee something or another?
Ooh,
Maybe
I think
Paul
it's on
Marr,
Intermountain.
Paul Marr might have turned us on to it. I don't remember, but like John McLaughlin on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. There's this
It could have
performance
been Cherokee, yeah.
where he's playing
Cherokee.
an acoustic guitar and he's playing 1,000 miles an hour, and it's the most incredible.
Well, he did the thing, him, DeMaiola, and Paco de Lucia too in San Francisco on acoustics. That was good. They're all monsters.
Craziness. You know, I saw something really cool online. Actually,
I got it.
I appreciate. Is that Cherokee?
Yep, 1985. I'm going to post it in the chat.
Do you know that we talked before about Marbin, right?
Yeah.
Danny Rabin.
Yeah.
Danny Rabin posted this video the other day telling parents to stop wasting their money sending their kids to Berklee School of Music. Oh, it was fucking brilliant. It was fucking brilliant. I mean, he basically comes out and says, look, Berklee School of Music is giving people with this amazing ability that can already play like crazy these scholarships and then rolling them out there so that people think that they come out of school and they can play like this. And he was like, most people that go into the school don't start playing like that, and they certainly don't learn to play like that there at the school. And you're
definitely going to get out of it whatever you want to get out of it to put into it. Yeah, when you go in and you're good. But I mean, I know a lot of grads that in fact, I have a few students that are Berklee grads. And I'll talk to them about stuff, and we go over lessons, and they're like, where the fuck did you get this? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like the theory of music, you know what? And they're like, they went to school for it and don't come out and don't know, you know, certain things, chord building, just usage of scales and whatnot. I'm always like, well, I don't know what the hell they're teaching there. I mean, and they're good, and they actually they know some theory. It's pretty good when I can say, look, it's in the key of A, and they know it's F, C, G is sharp, you know. But when you go into deeper stuff, they're like, yeah. And I'm like, man, you went to school for 4 years there. What the balls are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. It's real interesting.
Probably just teaching them to read.
In fact, I will say this. The only musicians that I know that come out of there that really work are the drummers. And I can think of drummers from every decade to come out of there. I mean, even Brian Tichy and Joe Travers out of in LA, those are Berklee
Joe
guys.
Travers, I've seen him a couple times.
Yeah.
I played with Eric Johnson when I saw him in 2017.
Yeah, I mean, and of course everyone knows Vinny Colaiuta and what's his name from Journey? Steve Smith, a Berklee guys. I mean, the drummers seem to come out of there pretty. Whatever drum school they got there, I think it's pretty good. But as far as like, and I mean, there are some good players that come out of there, but I think they go in way ahead of the curve as well. You know,
I think it like I would think that like if you're going to learn sax or upright bass or something like that, you're probably going to come out there a little better too than going in their guitar program, because I think the whole guitar thing, I think their program got modified from what it was before because of the dynamics in the 80s and 90s, and it's kind of a mishmash now. Before it was like a strict jazz school. You know, they just have the real book with all the jazz standards, and you go through a jazz standard.
Yeah, you know, I almost think that if you're going to play sax, you may as well go to the conservatory. Well, if they have sax there. Because a saxophone's not in an orchestra, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had sax at a conservatory before.
Yeah, a sax is in an orchestra, but I believe you can play it at the conservatory, but I don't believe it's not an orchestra instrument. You got to play either oboe or let me know somebody tell me in the chat there, is a saxophone in an orchestra? For some reason I'm thinking it's not. Right? You've got for the winds, you got the oboe, you got the bassoon, and you got
wind
the double
ensembles.
bass
I used to
bassoon.
be in those, used to have them, but you're talking orchestra with the violins and stuff. Yeah,
Talking about orchestra, right? Violins. You have first seat violins, second seat violins, violas, and double bass, and then you have You have trumpets. Now you have
Mhm.
brass. You have trumpets. You have
Tuba,
right tuba,
baritone.
trombones.
Researching something right now on this.
Yeah, you rarely see it in orchestra concerts. It says.
So
What's
yeah,
that?
according to this, somebody here is saying, this is from some orchestra in Toronto. Whoever the composer is saying the saxophone
Yes, French
is
horn,
traditionally
yes.
not seen in orchestras because it's loud. It's too loud, I guess. It's louder
Yeah.
than the other.
It's
instruments
also
around
much
it.
later too.
And
It wasn't.
It has a. It also has a sordid history of being out of tune. So.
But I think it's also has to do with, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think the saxophone was created in 1840. And if that's the case, most of the classical music written in the 1700s wouldn't have anything written for it because,
1846, very close.
Yep.
all right, yeah.
Oh.
By Adolphe Sax.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. Saxophone.
It says here that he invented it because he wanted it to be louder and more out of tune.
That's
than the
Homer
other.
Simpson.
Right.
Yeah.
But trumpets are allowed. Flugel, well, they don't have flugelhorns. French horns.
Flugelhorn, what a name!
I love the flugelhorn.
Yeah. Chuck
That's
Mangione.
Chuck Mangione. Exactly.
What's the difference between a flugelhorn and a trumpet?
It's more like a
I-
bugle type family.
They're very similar. It's just
Yeah.
the shape, and I think the sound is smoother on a flugelhorn. It's like not as
Oh, I'm
It's a
looking at
little
one
mute.
right now.
It's really big in the middle.
Yeah,
in
it's got like
comparison
a
to
little.
regular.
It's got that wraparound looking thing. Oh, so does
Yeah.
a trumpet though.
Now, when you looked it up, did Chuck Mangione come up? I'm guessing his picture came up.
I didn't see it.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, even though he'd be a famous
He kinda-
flugelhorn player.
Actually, on Google it says flugelhorn artists: Ack van Rooyen, Marcus Stockhausen, Toys Noble, and Nadje Nordjus. Yeah.
New orange.
I think Herb Alpert played. Well, he played trumpet, but if you played trumpet, you played flugelhorn. But he may have played. But he was a trumpet player. Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss as the Beaver.
Yeah, I see him with the standard.
Who, Herb Alpert? Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
played trumpet. Yeah, I mean, the first time I've ever seen one was Mangione.
He's still
but,
alive.
Herb Alpert is, yeah.
Yep. Gonna
What
be
about
90
Jerry
next
Moss?
year. Jerry Moss.
Everybody's favorite flugelhornist.
Jerry Moss was his partner at A&M, Albert and Moss.
He died. He died this year in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jerry
So
Moss.
he went from being Moss to pushing up Moss.
You mean last year?
Hey. Hey.
Ooh, too soon. It actually is too soon. I'm sorry.
Yep. It's
All right.
January, Crow. That was
All right, I
last
gotta
year.
ask you a question. A question
Can I-
to you
can I-
guys. This is a genuine
Can I
question.
bow
to
out for one
people in
second?
the-
It's going to hit the head. Hold on one second.
Yeah. Maybe you people in the chat, maybe Matt, maybe Krellbar. What do I have to do to defend against crazy feedback on these hollow bodies when I start going to rehearsal with them?
Ooh, yeah. What I used to do is that I would roll the volume back a little bit. I wouldn't go the volume full out, and I'd use the amp a little more.
That sounds like it's going to clean it up, though.
It will, but you kind of make up for it with a little more volume from the amp. You turn the volume up on the amp, turn the volume down on the pickup.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've never had an actual hollow or semi-hollow that I played with a band or anything. So,
Add a couple. Yeah.
although
And
I've heard
Nicole Sheridan.
people, I've heard that players in the past they'll like stuff cotton in there.
Yeah.
In the sound holes, that kind of.
I heard that too. Somebody was saying that they like fold a pair of socks and shove it down in there.
Hmm.
And like I guess it probably dampens vibrations on the top and bottom, or
Mhm.
top and back, or whatever. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Ask
if I get eaten alive.
ask Ted Nugent.
He
I know,
likes the
right?
feedback. Yeah, what Ted Nugent used to do is that before the show, he'd set up his feedback spots
Uh-huh.
and have the X's put there so he knew exactly where to stand to get the feedback.
Well, I can control the feedback, like when I'm playing normally with
Mm.
Oh, here's DL. I asked the question of what do I do to control feedback on this hollow body when I go into a practice situation where we're loud.
And what did anyone say?
Well, I
Turn
said
down?
Yeah.
I would turn down the guitar but turn up the amp.
Yeah, Grellbar gave me advice that's going to reduce my gain, which I don't love.
Right.
And
Trade-off.
Matt told me to put cotton inside of it.
Yeah, it's because of the vibration of the top is what does it. So, or just
Rattles
hold the
the
top,
coil.
rest your arm on the top.
Oh, that's what's causing it is vibration from the top.
Yeah,
but it
vibrates
causes
the
feedback
coils.
in hollow bodies semi hollows is the vibration of the top is what causes the feedback loop.
Are those pickups waxed?
I couldn't tell you. That's a great question.
Oh, they are.
Let's see.
Yeah, they don't make Filtertrons without it's not like like Gibson trying to be we're making them the way we made them back then. Why?
Well, let me put it this way, John. If you were looking for high gain, you probably shouldn't have used the hollow body.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Parker just said, what did Alex Lifeson do? What did what's his face? Malcolm Young
Alex
do?
Lifeson probably did what I did. He probably eased back on the gain.
What are you saying? He never played full out?
No, he played. He
Absurd.
played with gain. What I'm saying is that if you're lacking gain, put the gain on the amp and not from the pickup, because when you turn the volume down, you're decreasing the voltage that's getting picked up by the pickup, and then it's hitting the amp, and you let the amp do the work.
Cold Rosa says that he thinks Lifeson used foam.
Not only that, he used that sound box. Maybe not live though. I think for recording.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it won't matter. Maybe it'll be fine just the way it is. But if I need to shove some shit inside of there, I guess I can.
Do that as a last resort, though.
Take a dump inside of the guitar.
Market guaranteed. You got spare time.
I do.
Guaranteed no feedback.
Should get one of those little spray bottle things. The little spray foam, expandable foam.
Why are there
Have it
so
coming
many?
out of the apples. I did too much.
Didn't Springsteen used to? What was the spray he used to spray on his tellies? Like that sealant?
I think he used fart spray.
No, that
something
black
we could perform
sealant
home.
because he used to sweat profusely into his guitar and he would have to get his electronics changed all the time. So now he sprays like that Flex Seal shit all over it.
I don't know.
That's got to be great for your guitar.
Oh, when you're worth that, they don't give a shit. He's like, we'll make new ones. No, I think it's a 53. It's like if you look at it, it's always got crap all over it. Zola, go in the other room. Oh yeah. Oh, that's for your playing. How do you play in the other right? Use a wireless system and go into your own isolated room.
I like that idea. I have a wireless.
There you go.
I love playing wireless, by the way. It's my favorite. Has anybody else in this chat or in the comments section here, anybody else have the problem where you're in a rehearsal room, you're all standing on top of your amps, you take a fucking step backwards and you yank the cable and the input jack right out of the front of your amp? I've done that twice, which is why I use a wireless system now almost all the time.
Yeah,
Other people have done it for
You
me.
accidentally step on your cable that's hanging out of the amp, just yank it right out. I've
the worst.
messed up a Mesa Boogie that way and messed up another one too.
Well, what I do is I circle the cord around the handle of the amp before I plug it in now. So
Yeah, that's good.
So
idea.
like on the guitar, like when you tuck it under the strap too, so it doesn't rip the jack out of the strap. Out of the guitar. But yeah, it happened to me a couple times, and then I learned. But I wasn't the one that did it. It was some idiot on stage. Come over to my side of stage, and sometimes people on stage that didn't friggin' belong there, which pissed me off even more.
Why doesn't Gibson issue the log if tradition is so important?
I don't think the log was their guitar, was it? It was Les Paul's guitar.
Yeah, it was his, and it was.
I don't think it was a Gibson.
I think it was Epiphone. I think ended up slapping their name to it.
The log?
The log guitar. Yeah, I think he may have, because it was technically the first solid body.
I thought the log was made in 1950.
The log.
Everyone loves logs.
Name on it, but there is a name on it. Looking for some good pictures.
In the late 30s, he revived this solid body idea with two goals in mind, blah, 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 keeping basic, built the car. So it was in the late 30s.
Huh.
All right.
So let's see if anyone picked up on it.
Oliver is asking the question, what's the battery life on the wirelesses? I've got a Shure. The wireless and the battery life on it is I think 12 hours for the packet.
Are you sure?
Rechargeable. Yeah, I've definitely gone through more than 2 rehearsals without recharging and made it all the way through. So, I don't know. Anyway, there you go.
I was doing my cousin Vinny. Are you sure? He said it was a sure.
Sure.
Oh,
are you sure?
I do love my cousin Vinny era Marissa Tomei.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
that's peak Marissa.
You're barking up my tree right now.
Oh, that sounded gay.
I like peak era Marissa and peak
tree,
era
big boy.
Salma. How do we feel about peak Salma?
I love Salma
Hayek.
Salma
Hayek, 1990.
Yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn.
1995 when she
right
did
in there.
Desperado.
Holy
95. Oh yeah, she's another smoke show.
Yeah. Salma's great in that.
Oh, Christopher Valdez remembers Different World. That for some reason, the Cosby Show was everywhere, and then they had to spin off Different World. And the girl I was dating at that time watched Different World, and I'm like, who the fuck's that? Because Marissa Tomei was on there.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode of Different World.
Yeah.
I remember that show, but I don't remember her being on it.
No.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't think there was a lot of Caucasians in the show Different World.
Yeah. Well, she was a token Caucasian, and she rocked it. She was in Toxic Avenger too, apparently.
She was the reverse Franklin.
Yeah. They shut the door on him when they came over. If my brother's still on, he can tell you about my unrequited love for Marissa Tomei.
The Gretsch. What year was that? Was 58 when those thumb dots came? Those side thumbnail, the fingernail, whatever the hell they called, thumbnail.
No idea. I don't know anything about the history of Gretsch.
I think it's 58, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say it was earlier because didn't Chet Atkins play well before that with her?
You forgot stocky Christopher Valdez.
Oh, half thumbnail, half moon inlays.
What?
You were close. No, you were right on. 1958.
All right.
Nailed it.
Thumbnailed it.
Yep. No, he half mooned it.
It was 58, huh?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at this stuff. I took a guess.
A gander?
Yeah, but that guitar should be called the Silver Falcon.
This guy?
Yeah, because it looks exactly like that guitar that what's his face plays.
Well, the anniversary models that they make are slightly less ornate than the Falcon. So
right.
The F hole doesn't have any binding around it. The neck the neck itself, there's no binding around the neck. So there's a couple of features that get tossed away. It's a rosewood fingerboard instead of an ebony fingerboard.
It looks
Hey,
like the
it's
body
nothing-
is thinner than a Falcon too, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks a little thinner, but it might
I
not be
think-
because maybe not.
I think
Thinner.
if anything,
That's
it's
thinner than
like
a
maybe a
Falcon.
half-inch thinner. I don't know, but I don't know. I know that like a Falcon's like fucking $3,600 or whatever,
Yeah.
and this one you can buy that one new for like 25.
Wow.
So it's quite a bit cheaper in spite of the fact that it's mostly the same other than cosmetics.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, it's a nice guitar.
Fingerboard wood, but that's it. Yeah.
Relbomatic Maniac has a tree for Marissa.
That's a branch. If I had
Part of the
three,
reason that I
would
need a
form.
big Gretsch is because I'm too big of a human being.
You got to
Gretsch-
have the dice for your volume, and that's
Oh
awful.
God, do the Brian Setzer thing. No,
Oh, it's
the
terrible.
I need the enormous guitar to help make me look more dainty.
I'll tell you which guitar would be perfect for you, John, and this is going to come to you as a huge shock. But it's a guitar called the Tennessee. Nope. The Nashville Gentleman.
Oh, Nashville.
Not the country gentleman.
Oh,
It's
I'm
called
very
the-
familiar with the Nashville Gentleman.
Yes. It
modeled
is a black
after-
guitar with gold pickguard.
A very
It's
well
modeled after a
revered,
guy from Noblesville, Indiana.
Oh.
oddly a Frenchman from Noblesville, Indiana.
Esteban Warrenier.
That's right. Yeah.
That
Oh
is a
yeah,
great
that
looking-
guy.
It's a great looking guitar. And you know what I also love about it? His Bigsby gave me the idea to change my Bigsby. He has the string through.
Oh yeah, that's on
Yeah,
this thing
without
too.
trying to get on the friggin' pins.
Yeah, they started doing that. I think on all their models. Well,
Oh,
maybe
it's the
not all of
best.
them, but yeah, they should do it on all of them.
Hey, bro,
Yeah,
why
I
do you
had
need
to
another
buy a
acoustic?
Callahan bar and then put it in my Bigsby.
This has got the faux F holes, which I love.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that
Yeah,
guitar
this
is all you.
This is a good one. I could get down with one of these.
Are you kidding? Thing looks awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, Greg Koch has the oversized,
I was gonna say, yeah,
oversized telly.
yeah.
It
But he
is
has
Steve
those damn
Warren
Fluence-
Parker.
he
That's
has
what. That's
those
the
Fluence
joke.
pickups in it, which
It's only
I'm sure sound good,
$4,100 though. Good lord.
It's
It's
what?
not that much when you call up Gretsch and you say, "I'm John fucking Bingham." What the hell are
I'm
we
calling
doing?
from Bad Cat. Damn it!
What are we doing?
I'll get an industry deal on anything I want, but it's still like, so, all right. So it's still going to cost me like fucking $2,400 or something stupid.
For what?
I
Better
don't
than,
know.
it's better than the Falcon.
I don't know about that, man.
Look at that guitar, John. There has never been a more beautiful, perfect Gretsch guitar in the history of Gretsch guitars.
I don't know, man. The
He'll make
Silver
you buy it,
Falcon-
then you bring it on the show, and he starts busting your balls for having it.
The Silver Falcon.
No,
is
are you kidding
my-
me? It's the only
Oh,
Gretsch
God.
I'd want. I'll
Oh,
be
really?
100% honest. It's the only one.
What? The
If someone
silver?
said, if Gretsch came to me and said you could have any guitar, we have $10,000, $20,000 guitars. Which guitar do you want? I'm like, give me the Nashville
Wow,
Gentleman.
you know the gold actually works on that.
Oh, the guitar is awesome.
Yeah. I'm fixated on the one that I want. Part of the thing that's the allure of the Silver Falcon is that real 1950s headstock where Gretsch is written down between the strings and it's got those stupid lightning bolts kicking off the side of it. It looks absurd.
You sound like you really like it.
I do. It's one of those things
It's
where
got-
like you take like the gaudiness to a point where like it's so gaudy that it's awesome. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at on it. It's so ornate and ridiculous, and I love it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
$4
I mean,
grand.
Gretsch is one of those companies. I never loved their guitars. I like them, but the Gentleman, the Nashville Gentleman, to me is a.
What about the old standby Country Gentleman?
I hate that orange.
Oh, I love it.
You do?
I love orange. Yeah.
That orange, the 61. What's the number on that? 6121. What is the number of that guitar? I'm wrong, but what is the
Country
number? of that?
Gentleman?
6122?
Good question.
They make it. They make it in black with gold hardware too.
Well, that's
Country Gentleman.
the Gretsch Nashville Gentleman is Steve Warner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
But it's
the
not
Country
orange.
Gentleman was associated
No.
with Chet Atkins, but thing is, they make that in black and gold hardware too. It's not just orange. The Country Gentleman.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
don't
it's-
like
it-
how they've done their website. I'm trying to find it right now. I hate
Ooh.
the fact that their website is like intermixing of all of their lines. Like if you go, you can separate things by like, hollow body or solid body or whatever, but it's not separated by collection, like professional or electromatic past that. So you've got all these 100 fucking models of hollow bodies that all look the same.
Yeah, Harrison had a Country Gentleman, and then he had the one after it, the Tennessean, which now is sold under the Tennessee Rose moniker.
The Tennessee.
Anyways, it's not black. It's more like
It's
a
the
dark
original
brown.
name of the Tennessee Rose was called the Tennessean. I don't know what year they changed the name to the Tennessee Rose, but
I'm looking
when
for
Harrison
the
played it.
Country Gentleman right now. Having a hard time finding it on the website.
I found
Really?
no problem, but they're like dark brown. I said they were black, but it's actually more dark brown.
I just found it. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather
I know.
have the what is it? The Country Gentleman? No.
Oh,
the,
yeah, Harrison's was brown.
the Nashville Gentleman. I'd rather have that than the.
Yeah, it looks pretty sharp.
Agreed. Well, there's a couple of appointments on it that Steve changed to make it more like a modern player.
Yeah.
And I think he worked on it with his kid, Ryan. I think the two of them together were working out what they wanted that guitar to have.
The one they make that I do like the Reverend Horton Heat one because the inlays are cool. They've
Other
got the-
rockabilly guys love the Gretsch.
Yeah. this
And
is true.
also, if you're in Los Angeles, a lot of tattooed, overweight Mexicanos people love the Gretsch guitars.
You ever hear all the Charles Barkley stuff where he picks on big fat women from San Antonio?
No.
That's the best.
No, but if you notice that when you're living in Los Angeles, that some of the heavier set people from the country below us tend to like a lot of rockabilly and tattoos.
Never
Yeah, I think
noticed.
there's a culture of that, sure.
Yeah. The bandanas, the
Bandanas.
fucking tattooed eyebrows.
Oh God. Oh Jesus.
I love a tattooed eyebrow.
The chola. Unbelievable. No, seriously though, there is like if you go you go see rockabilly, it's the same thing for there's also a lot of maybe very thin Mexican men who wear black t-shirts who love Metallica,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You do love Metallica. Let's see. What am I looking at here?
The teardrop tattoo under the eye. No, that's only if they kill someone. But no, it's
Like-
funny because
Like
there's a
Metallica
lot of.
and someone.
What's the band, the rockabilly? The kind of a singer plays a Gretsch. Mike Ness. What was that band? Social Distortion.
Yeah.
If I never hear that band again, it would be a joke.
They're awful.
Awful. But I remember in LA, all that ball and chain. Oh my God. I remember all there's a whole subculture of people that love Social D.
Yeah. Yeah, like the greaser wannabe sort of crowd.
Yeah.
I think my brother likes them.
And maybe, just maybe, some women who eat a few more empanadas than they should have.
You get a little chunky and then they cut their bangs a little short, right?
And then they wind pickups.
Purple lipstick. With the purple lipstick. You're onto something, John. The purple lipstick, the bangs that are cut too short.
Yep.
That's not wax in the pickups. That's lard.
There's one of those that works at my local Vons. The only difference is she's not heavy.
She isn't heavy?
No, but she does the whole everything else, the short bangs and everything. Yeah. Not heavy.
I know,
though.
it's so funny because a lot of them have the physique of maybe one gentleman from the North Pole. They
Admiral Perry?
They're busting out of their, like they're dressed in like a schoolgirl uniform, but busting out of it as if William Conrad tried on the uniform.
Matt will have the good fortune of seeing some of those ladies at the NAMM show, I bet you.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
Oh, it's gold.
There will be some people at the NAMM show that
Eric Johnson, they just got the rights back, I believe. I think they had a deal with the rights, but they have them back for sure.
My brother's heading.
Hey, later, John.
He's heading to Geim. It's friggin' 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, the him to see him. It always comes back to Canon. Well, I got to tell you, so you guys, I've been watching this show. Do you guys on YouTube, you guys like watch Sherlock Holmes at all?
No, with Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, that's Sherlock. This is like the original. There was a TV show in
Days of
England in the
Rathbone.
50s. No, that was the 40s. This is the 50s. The guy's name is Ronald Howard. Ron Howard. But Ronald Howard. And the other guy's name is Marion something. Either
Marion
way.
Ross.
No, exactly. And he played Watson. Or she played Watson. But anyways, the show's ridiculous. But at the end of the show, it said produced and written by Sheldon Reynolds. And I'm like, Sheldon Reynolds? Like, I only know Jews with the name Sheldon. So I look up the name Sheldon, and it said it's an English name. And then it says list of famous Sheldons, and every one of them could have been could form a minion. They could be a temple. It was like the Hasidim. I was like, Sheldon Reynolds, that would be like naming somebody. This is Mordecai O'Brien. Oh, okay. Yeah. Welcome. It's absurd. Sheldon Reynolds. Anyways, the show's great. You know what? I started watching on Chuck's recommendation, the Huell Hauser. I remember that name.
Well, the character on Big Bang Theory was called Sheldon, and he wasn't Jewish.
Right, but that's just a character. Right. But when you think about it,
still,
Shelley Berman, Sheldon Berman, the comedian. What was that? Oh, so I watched the Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, a bunch of the movies. I'm trying to catch up to all the movies. The thing about watching them on YouTube is I can fast forward through a lot because these are the slowest paced, boring movies ever. And when you get to the end, it's cool. The problem I have is it's way too slow paced. The TV show is they bang it out in 24 minutes, and it's still too slow. But it bangs it out quicker. So I like the show better because I'm in and out in 30 minutes. Also, I've been watching a lot of Perry Mason. And let me tell you, nobody regurgitated the people in Hollywood, whatever they were using for casting, than Perry Mason. Every episode, it's the same 5 people. It's like, I'm like, wait, that girl was the killer last week. Now she's like the victim.
That's really funny.
It's like it's the same cast. They just draw out of a hat. Who are you playing? Oh, I'm Paul Drake. Why do I know the name Huell Hauser?
I think he was a weather guy or newscaster here.
I thought he was a reporter or something.
Yeah.
I remember Johnny Mountain.
We've had this conversation before.
Or Dallas Raines, the weather guys, Johnny Mountain and Dallas Raines.
Yeah. We've had this conversation before because I recall pointing out how ridiculous it is that if your name is Huell, you're reporting the news somewhere. Because in Detroit, growing up, there was Huell Perkins. Never met or heard of a single person on earth named Huell except people in the news.
Yeah.
Nobody
There used to
knows
be a guy
anybody
in
named
Boston that
Steve.
was on the
That's not a
helicopter
name.
doing traffic, and his name was Lestow Fisher.
Ooh.
Lestow Fisher. 95 is backed up. 93 is backed up. This is Lestow Fisher. It's like Lestow. Yeah. Actually, my favorite weather guys are Goldie Showers,
There is no Goldie Showers. Come on.
Herschel Squirts on sports as well.
That's a good one.
That was Phil Hendry doing the news. Herschel Squirts on sports. Goldie Showers on weather.
Herschel.
PBS show. No, I don't know who he is. I don't even know who.
Huel, however.
Huel, however. All right, guys, what's your next? If there's a purchase, RC Collins is the best. What was that? You're gonna kiss the gunner's daughter. What was RC Collins? What was his boss at the military academy? Christopher Valdez. What's the boss at the military academy for RC Collins? Guys, your next piece of equipment. We know from John it's going to be a Falcon, maybe?
For sure. We're working toward it.
All right, Krell, what about you?
I already purchased it last week. That Yurt guitar.
Oh, that's right. You got an ear.
The
That's
headless.
not your next one, though. That was your last one.
Yeah, well,
You're not
right.
I'm putting the kibosh on it. I bought like 3 guitars last year. 1, 2, 3, actually 4.
Matt?
They're right near the end.
Actually, I'm probably just going to be buying parts. I've got some. I'm probably going to build a telly because I've got a bridge and both pickups from another telly that I had, put some other stuff in. So I'm like, well, I've got these parts laying around. I'm just going to get a body and a neck and build another telly.
All right. I think in 2024, I'm going to break down and buy myself a Vibroverb. But the knockoff, the vintage sound amp Vibroverb, which will be modified. 15-inch speaker, but it'll have the Cesar Diaz mods and all that. So, and I'm going to have him back on the show. That was Rick Hayes from Vintage Sound Amps is going to come back on at some point.
Oh, I've got a question for you guys. Has anyone tried one of these Boss katanas?
Yes, I own 2 of them.
You own
I own
2
the
of
head.
them.
I own the 1x12, and I liked it so much I got the head.
And what do you like about it?
What I like about it is that, well, the reliability of solid state, first of all, but it's like what it is I took it out for a gig. It wasn't mic'd up or anything, just the 1x12. I had it on the full power, which is 100 watts. And I had the master at like 1 o'clock, and it was heard over the drums, and it didn't sound bad at all. You know how transistor amps, you turn them up in the heat profiles or whatever, it shifts and just turns into a scratchy mess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've gotten that. They've worked that out. It sounded great when I turned it up. And I'm like, well, geez, I wish there was a jack back here for a cab. So I just got the little head there, which has a built-in speaker, by the way.
And what do you plug that into?
I plug it into, let's see, I have a Laney 2x12. I did have one that I sold, the Carvin 2x12. And I also have that Harley Benton with the vintage 30s in it, Chinese vintage 30s.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Have either you guys tried them, Dave or John?
Yeah, I played one.
And what'd you think?
It sounded like a good modeling amp.
Yeah, they're decent.
See,
I'm
the
a
cool
bad
thing
reference,
is
dude. I'm a bad reference point. I'm super spoiled when it comes to like amplifiers and tones.
see, they don't really go about modeling in it like here's a bad cat, here's this, whatever. You basically get the brown sound, the crunch sound, and a clean sound. And
There's a lot more than that.
well, is this the Mark II?
Yeah, I think the one I played.
Oh, and you
had,
have an acoustic sound.
had a
as
bunch
well.
of sounds built into it.
Oh, it has a bunch of sound. It has every effect under the sun. Any
No, but I
boss
mean, like
effect you can
the
put in.
preamp had more than 3 sounds built into it.
No, I'm pretty sure it didn't. It's like unless you're talking about the Mark II. I haven't looked at the Mark II, but hang on for 1 second. It's like I'll look at.
Are you looking for a practice amp or something? Is that why you brought it up?
No, I've got enough practice stamps, but I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it's that versus the Spark thing, and I personally haven't tried either one. But I know one guy that has like every version of that Spark amp, the positive grid thing. He's got like every model they put out down to the little like pocket one or whatever. He just thinks they're the shit.
Yeah. Katana. I'm looking at it right now. Katana
Yeah.
2.
I'm looking at the original one, so like I said, I don't know.
Yeah,
if,
There's a bunch of different sounds on the Katana.
oh,
Two,
there's a bunch of different sounds, but as far as amps, hang on for 1 second. Oh,
Yeah.
Fucking ads. I'm about to zoom in and friggin' pop-ups.
Anyway.
I'm blanking on that Phil Hendry. I can't believe it because I just listened to it the other night. You're gonna kiss the gunner's daughter. After that, Krell, let's look up a list and end this.
I've got three. I've got three on queue here.
Just need one.
Okay, well, pick one. I've got greatest keyboard players of all time, rock keyboards. I've got top 10 saxophone solos in pop and rock. And what was the third one? It's another good one, but it's like I think I closed it. So it's those two.
Let's do the keyboard thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, agreed.
Keyboards. Okay, there's 100. What the
Cut it down to 25. We got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Before you start reading it, I'm going to quote my older brother, Brandon Bingham. Keyboards and rock are gay. That's my brother.
Yeah.
That would have been quoted sometime probably around 1994 is my guess.
I got to tell you, last Saturday I had a gig and I'm driving and I'm like, oh man, like no one was on the road. I'm like, I'm going to fly home. I'll be home in 20 minutes. As soon as I said I'll be home in 20 minutes, what song came on my radio? Now I'm listening to Spotify. It's a mix of like a million songs. I'll give you a hint. It's a Rush song.
Cygnus X,
What'd you say?
Cygnus X Book 2.
100% correct.
It's the best. Fills your whole time. Your whole ride
It
home.
felt like literally right after like the end when it explodes, I'm pulling on my street. Right when I pulled in my driveway, it pulled in my garage. The last note played. I'm like, that was fucking genius.
Mhm.
It's
I
such a
listened to that
great
the other
tune.
day. I had a big smile on my face.
There's so many great parts in that tune.
My Rocinante sailed by night on her final flight. Oh my God. And
Well,
said,
all I could say is if we do a top 25, there's some in the top 50 that should be higher than people in the top 25.
That's all right.
We only have 9
You can
minutes.
always- Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm
I
with
have
Matt.
no idea who 25 is, but it's Barry Goldberg from Bob Dylan and the Electric Flag.
Ah, let's just stop there. This is bullshit.
Barry Goldberg.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to get better, but it's like, but now Kerry Livgren from Kansas, I know he played some keyboards, but it's like,
He's
Him and Steve
guitar-
Walsh played.
but how he's a
No,
guitar
he
player.
was more of a guitar player.
Yeah.
No, all the piano stuff was Steve Walsh. Was
all Steve
Kerry
Walsh,
Livgren.
But,
Oh, okay.
Walsh played the organ. Livgren played the piano.
okay, 23 is Jens Johansson from Yngwie Malmsteen, who was a really good player.
Ooh.
But 22 is Dennis DeYoung.
He
21
stinks.
is Richard Tandy from Electric Light Orchestra.
What was it? Just a real quick. I know he's not going to be in this list. What was the guy's name who looked like a mechanic with a mustache and beard in Night Ranger?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Kelly, no.
No,
that
the
was the drummer.
keyboard player. The guy who looked like an airline mechanic.
Yeah, Kelly Keegi was the drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know their
keyboard
names.
Player, Night Ranger.
In fairness, David Pace
Alan
also
Fitzgerald.
could be a mechanic.
Alan Fitzgerald.
Early on, yes, they all supported that look. It was it must have been the LA keyboard player look.
Yeah, I don't see him on this list anywhere.
It's funny though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
Richard Tandy Electric Light Orchestra is 21.
Oh, I love
Number
Richard
20.
Tandy.
Number 20, I can't really argue with, is Jordan Rudess from Dream Theater and Liquid Tension Experiment. I mean, he's
What does this list have to do with?
Best
Pop and
keyboard
rock.
players in rock.
Is it about like technicality?
They never tell you what the
Yeah, criteria is.
Yeah.
Okay, number 19 is Brian Eno. 18 is Greg Raleigh.
he was a decent player.
17 is Nicky Hopkins from Rolling Stones and Jeff Beck Group.
Yeah. But I thought Ian Stewart better should be higher up than
16 is Jan Hammer.
lies. No more lies.
Yeah, with Neil Sean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good one. At 15, Tony Hymas.
Who was he?
Played with Jeff Beck in his later years.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, why the hell would Greg Allman be at number 14?
He was the organ player in the
Yeah,
Allman
hey.
Brothers.
Yeah, but I mean, like, does he really rate that high?
Well, who else have you named? You haven't. I mean, you named only a few really guys that were
Yeah,
great. I mean,
well, I think the list is all
Yeah.
mixed up. It's just okay.
yeah,
13,
actually, but is Chuck Liddell the piano player in the Allman Brothers? Is he listed in this list? He was a much better player than
Chuck Liddell.
Isn't he a
name?
UFC guy?
Liddell or Lavelle, whatever his name is. It's the same name, isn't it? What was his name?
Chuck Liddell was a UFC guy.
Oh,
Chuck
Lavelle with a
what's
V.
Yeah, what
Lavelle.
the hell am I was thinking of the pillow guy. What's his name?
Did he
Oh,
beat up
the pillow
piano?
guy. Sure.
My Pillow.
My pillow, yeah.
I don't
Chuck
know what his name
Lindell. Chuck Lindell.
Oh yeah, Chuck Lind. Yeah, that's five. They're all the same. They're
Yeah.
all the same. They just change one letter so you don't confuse them,
Number
which makes them
13,
more confusing.
Ian Underwood from Mother's Invention.
Oh yeah, and Ruth played the vibes. Ruth
Yep.
Underwood. Go ahead.
12 is Booker T. Jones from Booker T
Oh,
and the MGs.
God.
11 is Matthew Fisher from Procol Harum.
Ah, boy.
Okay, good. 10 is Al Cooper from Bloodset.
Oh, horrible.
9 is Stevie Winwood.
Winwood's a good player.
Yeah. 8 is Rod Argent.
Arjun was a good player.
Yeah. 7 is Billy Preston.
He's a good player. I wouldn't call him a rock player, though. I guess he played with the Beatles.
Okay, Tony Banks from Genesis.
Genesis is great. He's a great player.
Richard Wright from Pink Floyd at 5.
He's a good player.
Manzarek from The Doors at 4.
Good player.
John Lord, number 3.
Good player.
Wakeman, yes, 2.
Okay.
Who's number 1?
Well, first of all, I don't understand how they have Wakeman at 2. What was the guy's name that played on the first album? Was Wakeman on Fragile? I don't think Wakeman was even on Fragile, was
No,
he?
I think he was on Fragile.
What's the guy? Tony?
Yeah. Holy shit. Tony. Okay, hang on. This Fragile. Let's just take a look. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah, I thought Keith Emerson would probably be.
Yeah, Keith Emerson was a great player on this list. Oh, maybe he's number 1.
That's what I'm saying.
that's a good guess, but
Hey, Ryan.
No.
you're right. It's Emerson. Yeah, correct, Mundo. Yeah, Rick Wakeman played on Fragile. So let's see. I know who you're talking about. The guy.
He's not on
Tony.
the album before Fragile. The album with Yours
Yes
is No
album.
Disgrace, and I've seen All Good People. Yeah, that's not Wakeman.
Okay, let's see what's on there. is Tony. I know it is Tony once you said that. Tony K.
Tony K. Yeah.
And just really quick, in the top 50,
Yeah.
there's some that probably should have been higher. Well, Chuck Lavell's in 45, the one you were trying to think of.
Yeah, he's better than Greg.
I think Jonathan Kane should have been higher.
Yep, Jonathan Kane's
Rock,
great.
Yeah. Okay,
First of all, Steve Walsh is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Walsh should be in there.
Where's Getty?
Getty Lee could be in there.
I was going to say that too.
They've got Ben Montench from the Heartbreakers.
Yeah, from the Heartbreakers.
Derek Sherinian, who played with Dream Theater. Kevin Moore, Dream Theater.
What about Don Airy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
And what was the guy who was before? Was Don Airy on the first album of Ozzy?
I don't believe so. No, it was.
Who was that guy?
Lindsay something. Bridgewater, I think was his name.
Ooh, that you really pulled that out of your ass. I never got
Percival Sweetwater.
It might not have been him. I think he did play with
That's
him.
right.
I think he might have played with him on the first tour.
One second, I'll tell you.
I love Percival Sweetwater.
What's in a name?
Yeah, you gonna listen to me? Look, even William Shakespeare says, "What's the name?" Who? William Shakespeare. You're gonna listen to me? You're gonna listen to you?
No, Don Airy played on the first album.
Oh,
He did?
But he
Yep.
didn't do the tour.
No.
Bo do do bo
Jeez.
bo.
Where's Claude Schnell? Dio's keyboard player behind the curtain for the first
Schnell was in another band too. What was the other band Schnell was in?
Claude
Other than looking like Harry Shearer's separated at birth brother.
I was in Rough Cut.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
Why isn't Elton John on this list?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Where is he
Rock
on?
piano
Or Billy Joel.
Joel.
Right, or fucking Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
Let's see
Freddie
where he
Mercury
is.
was great.
It's like
And Brian May.
This list has
Brian
got
May
some
also
holes
played
in it.
piano in the band. Tony Carey from Rainbow. I loved his solo career. In Planet P, he was in Planet P Project. Did Why Me?
Why
and he did
Me?
It's a Fine Day.
Chris Valdez says, "What about Viv Savage?" I agree.
Oh yeah. Have a good time all the time.
What about Craig? Is it Craig Jafria?
Greg.
Oh, that's right.
Greg Jafria.
Yeah.
I've noticed that
He
they
was
managed.
in Matt's favorite band, Angel, and he was in the band Jafria with
Yep.
Craig Goldie.
Mm-hmm.
They managed to put Bob Dylan's fucking piano player in here, but they can't put Elton
Yeah.
John on the list. Give me a break.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Let
right.
me do a search on this. Hang on. Let's see.
That's ridiculous.
Let's see. John Paul Jones is there.
Oh, he was a great keyboard player.
John Ondrasnik, whoever the fuck it is.
What was the
John-
guy? Oh, I love
John
Felix
Legend.
Cavalieri. What about the keyboard player that played in the band When the Stranger Came to Town? And then you got This Will Be Your Last Chance. Shooting Star. You guys remember the band Shooting Star?
Yep.
Nope.
You break out. You break out.
And who played keyboards in Foreigner on the first few records?
The first one's.
Was it Ian McDonald?
I think you're right. He also played sax too, didn't he?
Do 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 do.
Oh, that's the best, John.
That's
Sweetwater.
what
Blue
song
Morning
is
Blue
that?
Day.
Blue
Do,
Morning.
do, do, do,
Blue
do,
Morning,
do.
Blue
That's
Day.
right? Yeah, that's a good one.
Out on the streets.
Yeah,
It's 6 a.m.
yeah, Ian McDonald, 76 to 80, did rhythm lead guitars, keyboard, saxophone, flute, backing vocals.
Yeah.
Al Greenwood was also keyboard synthesized, 76 to 80.
Oh, yeah, he was the keyboard player. Al
Yeah.
Greenwood was the main guy. Wasn't Ian McDonald? Was that the same Ian McDonald from King Crimson?
Yep.
All right.
I think he plays the sax solo on Ladies of the Road. That mess of a sax solo.
I love the sax solo he plays on some girls you meet, they seem so complete, like they love has taken its toll off of Double Vision. I love that sax solo. Oh yeah, Paul Raymond from MSG and UFO. All right, guys, it's 10:33. We've had it's the first show of the year, 2024. We hope. Did any of you guys make resolutions for the year?
Oh,
no, not really.
Good. Of
But
course not.
I'll
You
say-
shouldn't. You should make them on any you can.
I'll say this: I fucked up this list. I was looking at greatest rock keyboard. There's two lists: greatest rock keyboardists and greatest rock pianists. That's why the other ones weren't on. We'll do
so
that
Elton's
next
on
all
that
right.
one.
What
That
were we
makes
saying? Keyboardists have to play plastic keyboards.
Yeah,
That makes more sense.
I know why they separated it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think some of those guys played both. Also, what was the key? How come I don't see Mark Mothersbaugh on that list?
Oh God, yeah.
You love Mark Mothersbaugh.
I do. Like a
Guys,
fat
for
boy
the
in
anthem.
Oh, it's great.
So John, and
Vangelis is great. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
John and I should do a special report from the NAMM show for the
Yes.
show.
Ooh. Guys, we're at the NAMM show and
No one's here.
nothing to
Hey,
see
where-
here.
Where the hell's John Tesh on that list?
Ooh.
Or Yanni?
Johnny Hammer.
There's this pizza
No,
place
Yanni.
that closed.
The guy looks
um,
like Doug Henning that was married to that girl.
Do you guys watch that One Bite Pizza
Mhm.
reviews?
Dave
Portnoy.
Portnoy. or whatever.
Yeah, so there was a pizza place that it's closed now, but it was closing. And everyone on Facebook is posting, oh, they had the best pizza, which they didn't. Admittedly, I went there twice in my entire life. It was always near me. I never cared for it. But everyone's like, oh my God, it was the best. It was this, it was that. I'm like, if it was the best, this is what I said the other day, and nobody got my joke, so I'm going to use it here. I said, if it was the best, when the place was open before, Jim Backus is stealing station wagons out of the parking lot. If you guys remember the Brady Bunch episode when they were in the ghost town, and Jim Backus he steals the Brady station wagon.
What's that got to do with pizza?
The place is a ghost town. The parking lot's empty. No one's there.
Okay.
It's like nobody ever went. It was
Are
like
you willing to say what the name of the place is? Because
it was
I'm
called
guessing-
Danino's.
Yeah. Okay, I knew it began with the D.
Yeah,
because we
Danino's.
talked
Yeah,
about it
I
at the
never
last
cared
bit.
for it. I never
There-
liked
there
it.
was the one guy. There was that one guy you always talked about that swore by that place, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's high."
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of pizza places around here that people go, "Oh, that's the best," and I'm like, "Are you guys kidding me? Get the Christ out of Dodge."
I think Portnoy gave Twins too high of a mark. I think he gave 7.8 North Providence.
Oh,
They did
really?
Sicilian style, and
Yeah.
it's good for what it is, but there's no way it should have been 7.8.
Portnoy gave Monty's in Lynn a 10,
Yeah,
and
well, that's
it's
because
a
hometown.
glorified Elio's.
Yeah,
It's Elio's.
yeah. You told me that's because that's his hometown hangout or something.
Yeah, it's his hometown. That's what
Yeah.
he grew up on. But he grew up on terrible pizza, and let me tell you, that pizza's real stiff. There's no flop. That's why he doesn't like flop. I like a big floppy pie with a cheese and sauces, like a Regina's.
I like a chewy crust too.
Let me
A
write
little
that
pull
down.
on it.
All
Write
right.
this. Hold on. Crowbar.
Carbon.
Crust.
All right, guys.
All right, everyone. Thanks. I want to. Any of you guys want to say anything before we fly out of here? John, anything?
No, dude, I got nothing.
All right.
All
First
right.
one, sweet water.
Yeah.
Anyone? Matt? No.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm done.
All right, everyone. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us. Very good.